Alright, real quick, before we go into this boss, let's do a quick equipment check here. You can see that Tone is toting a Chronicle Sword. It's got a large amount of abilities. I believe this is pretty much every ability we can get. All the good ones, at least. I may have missed one. I feel like I've missed one because the number is a little bit funny. It's 9. But then again, I think there's 13 abilities in the game, and of course 4 of them we can't have on the same weapon. So we can take a look here, and all our stats are maxed out on this thing, so that's pretty cool. I've clearly done a lot of shit off camera. Xiao is over here with her Anja gear, which is the same as the Angel Shooter, but a different color. And this is her final weapon. You will notice that it does not have heal, nor does it have drain. Of course, I found out that because I removed heal, I have effectively fucked myself out of a healing ability on this thing whatsoever. Which kind of makes me want to go and start over on this and get her one with a healing move, but on the other hand, that just kind of sounds like pain. I can't have drain on this thing at all. That's some bad game design. Stats-wise, we are nowhere near finished with this thing, but this is as good as it gets for the time being. Over here, we've got the Inferno for Goro, and once again, you will see these stats are nowhere near being finished, except for these. We're in pretty good shape for these anti-type stats. But wow, these elements definitely need some work. I absolutely did kind of just mainline fire for this because, well, using him at all. And his stats are not finished for this. The attack power on this thing goes up pretty high. Like, I think there's at least 100 more we could get for it. And the magic power availability is pretty high as well. So yeah. Meanwhile, Ruby is over here, and she has a completely maxed out secret armlet in terms of stats. Yes, that's a new weapon model, everybody. You can see that it's missing a couple of abilities, but we're not going to fret over poison or critical too much for the final boss. That seems like a bad idea. And over here with Mr. That's Not Very Gaga of You, we can see his Babel's Spear +3. This thing is not maxed out in this area, but everything else is. Look at that attack stat, 321. That is absolutely slamming. I did not know that that got anywhere near that high. I thought it capped out at like 280 or something. In fact, I figured it capped much lower than that, but 321! Damn! You go, dude! But you will notice that we have chosen to unequip the attribute from his weapon, and that's going to come into play during the final boss, assuming that what I've been told is correct. And we are going to assume that until we see otherwise. But also, he's just a good candidate for non-elemental damage in general, because contrasting that 321 attack power is a magical power of 80, which means that his boost from attributes is pretty low. So he tends to underperform a little bit when trying to exploit an enemy's weakness. So if something really wants colorless damage, he's a good choice. And last but not least, we have the Supernova on Osmond. We're actually gonna slap the sun on his weapon here to get a little bit of extra attack power. And you can see that this is just a clusterfuck. This has not been dealt with like at all, but his elements are all maxed out. So that's gonna be a good time. Let's take a quick look at our inventory, by the way. Up here in our slots, we've got the Dran's Feather as usual. We've got a Revival Powder, and we've got an Auto Repair powder, pardon me. And you can see that we have stocked ourselves up pretty heavily with a lot of this stuff. We got a grand total of 10 revivals, counting the one in our pocket. We've got some stand-in powders. We've got status removals, which aren't going to matter. You'll notice that I sold a buttload of stamina drinks. That was that way I could afford a stat buff item. That was probably not such a good choice, but eh. We've got tons of chicken, good amount of water, and some more feathers. I think we're going to be good there. Our attachment inventory is empty, but who cares? let's go on and go 400 years into the past in the Gallery of Time and go face down that final boss at the Night of Incident. That's some good grammar. Yes, it's the same cutscenes that we saw at the end of the last video, just differently phrased. Because, you know, the localization for this was so good, right? Admittedly, I think I'm just gonna mash through this as hard as possible. Oh yeah, Smash 64 modding is a thing that I have at least been somewhat aware of, so... Again, cool to see stuff like that. Well, really, mods for any 3D game are always just kind of cool to me. Especially for that particular era of consoles where the kind of openness for a lot of that stuff is nowhere near as much as anything nowadays, or anything even back then, really. Interesting. Seems like a lot of people are picking stuff up recently, and the most interesting thing that I've gotten recently in my life, I bought an audio cassette of a Black Sabbath album that is otherwise out of print. Well, I mean, at least Brian has, like, a very wide moveset to choose from, whereas Ness really... I guess that when it came to specials, they did sort of end up, like, up against it, because most of Ness's stuff is just flash and, you know, variant light flash type of moves, so... Unlike the elementalism that Paula brings to the table that he picked up there. Well, more to the point that they strapped a different moveset to Ness, and it's like, I do kind of get it because, well... What am I trying to say here? Working with Ness's regular move pool in Earthbound isn't necessarily the most conducive to making a cool fighting game character, I guess. Just slap your Wow, this really is just a... Evil Twins, yeah, Secret of Evermore, etc., etc. It's just the same model over again, jeez. Bastard from the West. Yes, that's me. Something, something, foregone conclusion. Can't change the past. Bandit Keith. Oh, Bandit Keith. Oh no, the same model is, died. Parentheses, panting. Okay, you know what? You know what? That is actually just the stupidest fucking thing, and I love it. Oh my god. This game is... Jesus, can you believe that this developer... This is the Professor Layton developer? I think that's what Professor Layton needs for me to actually get off my ass and play those games. Just Layton impaling some dude and chucking him out. Oh, Jesus. Oh, my God. Oh, man. The stock will help. Oh, no, don't you fucking start, asshole. I'm gonna... You keep saying shit like that, and I'm gonna have to actually learn how to do stuff to this game. Son of a bitch. I can't believe... Ah. Oh, God. I hurt. It's okay, Sita. That one was the evil twin. Hey, do you notice how much darker he is in the past, by the way? I don't know why I just realized that he's like vaguely Arabic colored in the past, and yet when he travels to the future, he turns into a honky. Are you allowed to say honky on Twitch? Oh god, I might get banned. I might get banned at Keith. Just, you failed to but the future refused to change. Oh god. This thing is really stupid looking. Kneel before Zod. Okay, fine. Shut up, you asshole. I'll play your game. Anyway, we're switching to Captain Racism, unfortunately, because in this case he's actually going to probably help us. Or perhaps not. His swing might be too slow. Oh, no, we're actually able to hit the hands. It's just that it's kind of a rat bastard with him. This might be a bad... So, I should probably describe this fight first. Is he thrusting? It looks obscene, doesn't it? God, this game really isn't real, is it? So, okay. Actual, for real mechanics right now. So... The Dank Jin has those eyeballs on the backs of his hands, you know, like he's got edgy tattoos or something. And you will notice that there are different colors. Right now, one is red, one is blue. As you may have guessed, the color of these corresponds to certain elements, which are the elements that you are supposed to use on them in order to damage them. Alternately, you could just do what I'm doing, where I'm just using a non-elemental attack. Because it's much easier, frankly. And yes, this really is just kind of a fuck you if you're colorblind mechanic. At least I'm pretty sure it is. Like, I am obviously not a real expert in colorblind related matters, but I know enough that, like, every single developer of anything ever really does kind of fuck that shit up. You know, it's almost like I'm not myself colorblind, but it's a thing that I, you know, kind of... Don't do that. Also... I mean, yes, but for other reasons entirely. Alright, so you still in... Are you still in handjob mode? Oh god, don't call it things like that. So, I think the eyeball on his forehead here also counts as an elemental thing, so we may have to go with the lightning damage here. Or we may just be kind of up shit creek in terms of actually being... Oh, no, I think it's just a timing thing. Okay. That's cool. So... yeah, I'm not a true expert in colorblind-related design issues. Like, there's a couple of things that I've learned over time. Like, there's a prevalence of blue/orange combinations, and that's one that is very easy to tell apart for people who are colorblind, for example. I learned that, well, a couple of weeks ago, really, but yeah. So if you're ever curious about that, there you go. But regardless, I know enough to know that, wow, a lot of people really screw the pooch on that. And I think it's pretty bad. One of the many things that pissed me off about Magic was... oh, hey, we're on the last... I believe this is the final form. So they were at some point like, oh, hey, we did this mechanic where... it was supposed to be, the mechanic in question is the Phyrexian mana mechanic from New Phyrexia, where you could pay 2 life or 1 mana of any color to be able to pay for a specific symbol. Unfortunately, it was the Phyrexia symbol just in a colored circle for each of the symbols, so you could only tell them apart by color. If you had color sight issues, you might have issues being able to process what's going on there, especially if there's multiple different colors, which there was on one card. Only one card, I think, but still. And I and a lot of people said, hey, that's really dog shit. And so they eventually added a thing to identify colors of cards that had color identity that was not determined by their mana cost. That is also, to me, kind of a fuck you if you're colorblind thing, because it's literally just a dot in a given color right next to the type line. Anyway, blah blah blah. This is wow, that death ray fucking smokes you. Okay, so this I am fairly certain. Oh god. Yeah, that is gross compared to even what I was led to believe about this. So let's do this. Like Dark Souls. Jesus, I like this explanation, actually. It's funny. Oh, bootleg Dark Souls. Alright, so these boners will get up every once in a while. They're not permanently dead, unfortunately. Oh god, is that... Is that it for real? I mean, listen, I am wildly over-leveled for this, but like, at most, that thing had 7,700 HP, I would say, judging by the hits I was doing. One, could I have one-shot that thing? And two, wow, that's kind of sad. Oh, I'm pretty sure we've heard this speech from, like, every villain from everything. Well, so now what? Do I just stick the sword in there? It's like Terminator, but worse. God. Oh God, he's leaking. God, is that like ammonium triiodide? That shit is explosive as hell. I think that's the thing I'm thinking of. The purple explodey death powder. Explodey death powder, yeah, that's a phrase. Boy, Fairy King, it's a good thing you were here to tell me what to do, because Tone has no fucking idea what's going on, and neither do I. Whatever his name was. Gregory? Don? William? It was something real dumb. I don't remember. Whatever. A large blade in her back was a prop. Yeah, exactly. At least not for some time. Then it'll be somebody else's problem. And that is a matter for the sequel. Because there is a sequel to this game. I have never played it. Also, strangely enough, while it was known as Dark Cloud 2 in America, it was known in Europe as Dark Chronicle. Don't know what's up with that, but okay. Just a little bit of trivia. Well, listen, you're not alone. I stopped caring about this like a long time ago, because honestly, this plot, as I said before recently, you don't have to do an in-depth plot if you don't know how to. You can just make a video game and people will play it. It'll be fine. I mean, I still would have played this game without the plot. In fact, I think the plot holds it back a little bit. No, I came to ask him for, like, $10. Hey, dude, I want to go buy a Pepsi. You got $5? I don't know why I keep forgetting words here, but okay. Oh, they fucking... So does this result in a time paradox? Also, what is, what happens when Sophia dies? Because I'm pretty sure she's not immortal, but Sita is. Irene, I don't remember anything. You're talking to the wrong person if you want to think about anything related to memory. Oh, right, it's your birthday, isn't it? Happy birthday. Happy birthday, you get to see the ending of this game. Just keep going back in time and undoing... I guess we do! I guess we do! Well, everybody, that was Dark Cloud. We're not truly done with this. Because there is a bonus dungeon, and we're gonna do that later. I'm not gonna jump into that right away. I'm gonna give everybody some time to think about games that are good, like Ratchet and Clank, and moreover, its sequels. But, motion capture, huh? I'm amused by there only being 2 people. So, yeah, we will come back and we will do that at some point. I just got a comment on my most recent YouTube video saying 50% of the video is just content warnings. Yes! Did you see what fucking game it is, you dumb asshole? Oh god, I'm sorry, I'm having... You know, maybe there's a fucking reason for that! But, you know, kids these days, they're so easily offended. Anyway. The game was Rule of Rose. It wasn't this. I'm not going to subject anybody on my YouTube channel to shit about this. Jesus. Anyway, my throat. Testers, yeah, sure. Good. Nice lie. They really just pulled those names out of a hat, didn't they? Anywho, so yes. This game is pretty fun still. I still mostly like it, although there are definitely some weak parts to it. Early on, only giving you a single repair powder from the guy at any given time is kind of a load of butt. And the amount of grinding that is involved can be kind of obnoxious. But, hey, I still mostly think the gameplay is fine. Plot is completely worthless, though. Yes, we will handle the bonus dungeon sometime in December. I believe that I will be spending all of November playing the Ratchet and Clank series. It would probably take me about that long to play through all the PS2 Ratchet and Clank games anyway. Oh hey, for some reason Shao turned back into a cat. I have no idea why she turned back into a cat, but okay. And maybe time loop or something. The end. Sort of. As I already said, there's still going to be more in store for us in in like a month or so. But until then, it adds a question mark. Yeah. It adds a question mark, just like Secret of Evermore. God, I want to play that game real badly now. Oh, a new land is added to the world map. Hooray! Yeah, let's go ahead and save that, because if I don't, I'll be kicking myself. Okay, I think that's good and saved now. But just to make sure, before I do my game switch thing, I'm gonna sit here, I'm gonna get a sound there. And we're going to make sure that everything worked out okay here. So, provided that everything is fine, we should be able to go to other area and it should show us, yes, the demon shaft. Which, yeah. Yeah. Not much in the way of music here. Also, lots of oh. No, I was wrong. Never mind. Anyway, whatever. We're going to save out here. The demon shaft is 100 floors long. Ends in a kind of annoying super boss. And has nothing for us to build. Which, the latter part, at the very least, means that we can probably chug this one once we actually get around to it. Much, much later. But that will be much, much later.